Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone around the world. Welcome back to another One Piece video featuring Yamato. Get ready. This is going to be a very, very spicy deck variant in which there's many variations of Yamato out there. This one particularly is a Wano package that I came up with, which I'm having a lot of fun with. We will go over multiple different variations of this leader here on this channel, so stay tuned for that. We'll be playing with a Supernova variation, a Doflamingo family package as well, Skypiea. We'll do it all. But for right now, this is one of my favorite lists out here that is coming in OPO6. It's going to be very, very strong in the format. We'll dive into my take, why I chose certain cards, all that sort of thing. Leave your thoughts and your opinions down in the comment below. Let me know what you guys are running. Without further ado, we come out the gate with 10 2K counters, be it 4 Capone, 2 Izo, and then 4 Hiyori. All of these triggers here are going to be mandatory. You must have at least 4 Capone and 4 Hiyori in most of these variants when it comes to Yamato. This is a no-brainer. We know what this card does. We hate this card. It's very, very good. Hiyori, do not overlook this card. And Yamato, and Enel, and Katakuri, and Queen, this will probably be a staple yellow trigger for a while now. This is very, very strong. A quick overview. All right, are you ready for this? On your second Dawn turn, okay, you drop down a Hiyori. You take a cracker from hand, you place it on top of your life. When they hit you, what happens? You get a cracker on board. On the following turn, you have an opportunity of dropping Onami, giving cracker banish with double attack, and then on top of your leader already having double attack. That is a lot of pressure your opponent has to contend with so soon. But that's just one scenario where Hiyori makes this deck pretty busted. You have opportunities to cycle through Shirahoshi back and forth, meaning if you put a Shirahoshi on top of your life, you trigger it, she hits the board, right? Both of these cards are now on board, right? Hiyori and Shirahoshi. You play down a Momonosuke. What does this do? Momonosuke allows you to bounce back a Hiyori to the top of your life. Therefore, you gain a free life, right? Awesome. When they hit you, you take this card. Your following turn, you recycle it again, which is really, really consistent. You can do this loop with a lot of cards in your deck. Speaking of which, we play bare minimum of 30 triggers. I know, that's crazy, considering the fact that everybody hates yellow, and at the end of the day, you gotta play to your strengths. This is why I think the yellow variations of Yamato are probably going to be a little bit more consistent, a little bit more aggressive. You'll probably have a higher win rate with a more so of a yellow variation than you would a green. Be it that she can play cards such as Eustace Kid, 10 cost Doflamingo, and do well. I think there are just other decks in the format that do it better. We'll dive into that as a whole nother take for another video. Either way, we are playing with 4 9-cost Yamatos here. This is something you're probably not going to see in a lot of these variations, but I do think this card does make a home here. It's a pretty 4-of staple for this leader. You can search it out if need be with Momonosuke, considering we can't search out Hody Jones, but we can search out Yamato. She can become a 11k on board with your leader effect, putting 2 Rested Dawn on her and gain a banish effect from Onami, which is pretty scary at the end of the day. Your opponent is not going to counter out of this most likely, and if they do, you pretty much have the game set in stone for you by that point. Now, we are running 4 Dog Storms and 4 Nekomamushi. I very much like both of these cards, and I am opting to take out some of them, and we'll talk about it at the end of the video. But for what these cards allow you to do, this in itself is a 7k swing, due to the fact that when he's played by hand and or off trigger, you can give it Rested Dawn with your leader, and he can attack standing units, which is really, really good. Whereas this guy in himself is a whole nother situation. Give him 2 Dawn, he's like a Gedetsu, but on attack. That can happen multiple times. So when he swings, depending on what your opponent's life is, you can go ahead and pop cards on the board. Now, why this is so important, not only for this leader, but just as a trigger or as effect as a whole, what it allows you to do is, you can pop things such as Doflamingo. You can pop things such as Boa Blocker, in which you guys are going to see quite often in this format due to Queen and all that sort of thing, because Queen is coming back. Boa Blocker, Law Blocker, allows you to pop cheap cards. Or, potentially, if your opponent is at 4 life, you know, Katakuri for instance, right? You can pop things such as Cracker, you can get rid of Sanjis, Ohms, and Gedetsus, depending on what your opponent's life is. This card is very, very good, and he does warrant removal when he hits the board. So in other words, your opponent is going to try to Thunderbolt it, they're going to try to Onami you, they're going to try to Kadetsu this. This is a card in which is pretty spooky once it hits the field. But overall, he will gain value most of the time, especially if you get him off trigger. It's going to be pretty nutty. And then of course, we run 4 Onami. Onami in this situation is a Thunderbolt, but it's also treated as a cheap 2-cost card you can drop on board. Give Banish to your leader, give Banish to Hody Jones or Yamato, and just do work. And then on top of that, you can activate your leader effect, giving this 2 Dawn for a 5k swing. You see what I'm saying? So you always have the opportunity of getting damage in with pretty much every one of these cards here that we have in this deck, outside of course, like Shirahoshi, Momonosuke, right? To be honest. And then we run only 2 Kiko. This card is pretty good. I just don't want to see it at 4. I think 4 is way too many. It's a little bit clunky. It has no counter power. It's nice off a trigger or stacking it with Hiyori, but that's really about it. It also heals you a life, which in some cases is very, very good because you need life for this deck to actually get off a lot of its effects. Now again, you have cards such as Momonosuke to always gain you a life, or Amaru to get you a life, but realistically it's just Momonosuke. These are 2, and this is something that you use at generally at the end of the game to heal one. Whereas this here and this here recycle life all the time. The same thing with Kikyo. So there's something just to keep in mind there. And then of course with the events here, we run 2 Amaru and then 2 of the 0-cost events. These are just to get you out of situations for 3k. You know, you guys know. But Amaru here's the staple card. I think you need at least 2 to 4 in a deck in most Yamato variants. But my spicy card for the set is going to be Noah's Ark. We'll get into it. Hopefully I can showcase this card and how strong it is in some of these matchups here. It's going to be very, very prevalent in going against Katakuri, going against decks such as Reiju, playing against the mirror match versus Yamato. This card is very, very good. I think a lot of people are sleeping on it. Basically, it's like a on-play Birdcage that arrests everything, doesn't matter what, just a better variation. If Birdcage or something like this would be crazy. But this is a trigger as well. So what can you do with this card? In the late game, you play down that Hiyori, you put this on top of your life. It's very scary to deal with this. But overall, this has been my deck. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think about it, your matchups and all that sort of thing down in the comments below. Like the video, boys and girls. It helps me out, helps this video get out there. Let's dive into some games. Hopefully Hody Jones can smash some faces.
Now, before we get into today's games, I do want to go ahead and say thank you to ACG Town for sponsoring this video. This is one of the places where I come to look at certain anime, and when it comes to like apparel and all that sort of thing, this is one of the websites. It's actually pretty solid. They have some decent prices, let alone there's sales all the time for all of your favorite animes out there. One Piece from Demon Slayer to Honkai Star Rail. Not an anime, but it's something that everyone out there is playing right now. Genshin Impact, Jujutsu Kaisen, there's a lot of stuff here from Bleach, Fairy Tail, all that sort of stuff. They do clothing, apparel, all sorts of apparel, from 3D printed hoodies, which are actually really, really good. And we're not talking about like those generic hoodies or t-shirts you find inside of the mall that has just, you know, a random anime picture on it. No. These actually look really, really good, man. These look pretty fire. For those of you guys out there that work out and stuff and are interested in shorts, I picked up a pair of these recently, and they have that double layer aspect to them. I know it's something simple, and when it comes to phone cases, they range from a wide of different animes and mobile games and stuff, such as Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, all of that. But overall, give this place a shot. Let me know what you think about it.
Playing with Yamato, gonna have a lot of fun here. This should be a match I want to say in our favor. Now I guess it comes to the skill level of the queen, but you know, each their own. We'll see how this goes. I would think that it'd be a little bit harder for queen to navigate this match due to the fact that we hit big numbers early game, which gives queen more cards in hand, yes, but that means queen has to play those cards down to get the, you know, the leader effect to be active. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. He does get a Hiyori off, which is fantastic. That card's gonna be nuts in that deck, so stay tuned for it when it comes to the channel. Let's go 8k. He did stack a card on life, so I'm assuming that's gonna be a blocker of some sort. Yep. We'll pass it up. So our key pieces in this matchup are gonna be Noah's Ark, Hody, and Onami. And of course, our Hiyori. Hiyori is going to allow us to cycle through these cards and allow them to be on top of our life for the trigger. But we'll see. We got 2 Momonosuke's, which is really good here, because if all else fails, we can possibly have our blockers ready. But we'll see. 2 blockers on board. We can't get rid of that. I just hope he doesn't have another one to play her back on top of life to keep recycling things, because that would suck. Speaking of which, we could do a lot of stuff here, actually. Let's play this down, right? We'll take the top. Let's put the arc on top. We take a Nekomamushi here. And I think we'll just go 7k face and get rid of a blocker, at the very least. I wish we can take any of these, because we have a lot of options, to be fair, but we have to take a Wanu. And I'm not sure why Nami isn't Wanu Straw Hat, but, you know, each their own. Crazy, Bandai, crazy. Alright, so we'll take a blocker here. The correct play would be the Brûlée. You got this, buddy. Good job. Alright. He's at 7 cards in hand. He's at 6 Dawn. We have to block this out. He's not going to attack with his blocker, so he will attack that with Queen. Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, Momo acts as a pseudo blocker in that regard. I'd rather him have, you know, attacked me. That way I can possibly get a trigger. Which we know what it is. You know what I mean? And that would have been terrible for him, due to the fact that everything would have been rested. We got to banish off with the Onami in hands and got rid of both of those lives. With no potential to trigger. So thankfully he played it smart and went for the Momo. But in any case, we'll play down Hody, right? And Hody will allow us to take back the boat to our hands. Hold up. Yep. Give this 2 Dawn. We'll clear the X-Drake. He has 1 Dawn active, so I don't know if he's playing Thor Hammer or not. Or El Thor, sorry. I hope not. Nice, okay. Let's see if we can get a cheeky kill out of here. Probably not, right? Give me a 2k? Oh wow, 2 blockers. Cool. Well, I guess now his leader effect can be active if he does have... Okay, never mind, it can't. That's no Katakuri. That's no Mihawk here. He did get the stack of life, so it's probably another blocker on top. So we're probably going to have to burn those if we're able to. Somehow, some way. Okay, so we can't let this happen. We need him on board right now. Another blocker, maybe? Yep. Decides to keep him on top. So that's probably his big body's coming down soon. Because definitely at this stage in the game, he needs at least 1 right now. Speaking of which, we get a Yamato here. Which could actually do really well, but we need to drop down Boat. Boat will give us everything rested. Give Hody banish attack. Go up to 10k. Not double, just banish. So whatever card he decided to stick on top last turn can just go straight to the drop. Nice. You love to see it. We'll go 6, and I'll get rid of the Doflamingo at the very least. I know we can get him down potentially to 1, or sorry, to 0, but I'll rather take the guaranteed. Let's get rid of a Hiyori as well. We'll pass it up. Like, playing Noah's Ark really wants me to experiment with Vanderdeckman in this build. I just don't know if it's needed, you know? I will give it a shot at some point. 6k to face. Gotta take it. Our hand is not looking great. I mean, back-to-back Yamato is still no joke, but we'll see. Speaking of which, just play her down. Pop the Dofi. Heal 1 life. We go 6k with leader. Give 2 Dawn to Nami. depending on what he does here. If he takes this attack, I won't attack with Nami. Alright, sweet. And no trigger. Let's go, boys. So hear me out, alright? Just let me work, okay? If I attach 2 Dawn to Nami, he will block out, of course. You know, give me card from hand. Which, in that sense, instead of going to, what, 6 cards in next turn, he will go down to 5. Which allows him to easily play cards from hand to make sure he always has enough cards left for leader effect. Being at 6, he has to play down 2 cards in hand here, and then attach Dawn to attack. Which, realistically, this late in the game, he might not have cards that he can play right now, but you know, I don't know. It's a possibility. I would hope he wouldn't, but he might. Alright, so it gives me a pudding, which I'm not even mad about. It's just the fact that I would like to play the other Yamato, so it is what it is. Good pudding on his part, but he did give me a little bit of counter power. Not that it probably doesn't matter here, it's just one of those ordeals. We'll take this hit. Oh, you got the game, huh? I'm not sure why you said GG already, but we'll see. I'm pretty certain he's far off from winning this match, to be honest. Played on Okiku, even without the Okiku. I'll take this hit as well. Okay, cool. So we get into Maru. I guess we'll use it. We'll get rid of Okiku and Dogstorm here. Heal a life. And we get another Maru, which is nice. So let's pop this down. Give my Yamato here Banish. And burn that life that he put up there without having the effective activate. Come on, let it be a Veggie. Raging Tiger, okay. Give her 2k. Let's go up to 7. Yeah, see, so even without the Amaro, we had the game here. Let's go 7 as well. And then we just go 9k face. Good game, buddy. I can't wait for this leader to come out. It's going to be one of my favorite ones to play here in this format outside of Queen. But either way, let's dive into this match. If we are playing against Blue Doflamingo, who does come back in OPO7, give or take. OPO6, it allows you to get your feet wet with some of the newer cards and stuff, but he doesn't really make that much of an impact until later on into OPO7. So I do expect him to be quite a menace, but we'll see how this matchup can go for right now. He does have access to EBO1 cards as well, and you didn't see any in my deck list here because they're not out yet, so each their own. We'll let this happen. Considering that OPO6 comes out in a few days and EBO1 is like in what, March or whatever. You know, we don't have access to those cards quite far away, so I did not include any of those into the deck lists. Not bad. Edward Weevil already off the gate. That card is going to be so good in this deck. It allows us to draw cards and get bodies on board. It's pretty nutty. But in any case, let's do the thing. Get myself banished, go 8k to face, and this should hurt this man quite a bit. With banish, though, double attack, what do in this scenario? We know they don't run a lot of 2ks most of the time. Come on, dude. Just take your hits, man. Just take them. I'm sorry. A lot of us don't hate Yamato, though. I appreciate you. Alright, he goes up to 6 Dawn here. We got rid of a Mihawk and another Weevil, which is pretty solid. Another blocker on board. How do we want to go about this, though? He's placing him on top, so this gives me the impression that he got his big bodies. Obviously, he's going to stack the deck here. That way he's able to cheat one out. But I assume he at least would have a Mihawk or something. I could be wrong. So I'm going to be quite aggressive. Ooh. Yeah, please. Let's get this out on board. This will allow me to get rid of the blocker that he has for free, essentially, which is going to be pretty solid. And then we might be able to get in another double attack. I'm going to take this hit as well. Now, we could activate a Maru. We potentially could just heal a life here by getting rid of both of my Momos. You know, it wouldn't be too bad, but we'll save it. Just in case he does swarm the board down with more blockers the following turn. And speaking of Momos, we don't need a third one right now. Because in this matchup, he's not going to get a lot of value here. Because I am going to be like very aggressive. How do I want to play this though? I think realistically, I want to get 2 Dawn attached to him, right? In some way, shape, or form. You cannot pull off Dawn from your leader or any other unit that has the Dawn on it already with your leader effect. So you have to spin the Dawn first and then pull your leader effect to attach the Dawn. That's the best case scenario. Let's give this one 2 rested. If we go 7 face here, we pop the Doflamingo, considering he has 3 life. So we'll discard a Momo. We'll pop this for free. Get a 7k attack in. And then he has to deal with an 8k here with Yamato. Which is pretty nutty, to be fair. Alright, so that's Raging Tiger. Just go 8k. Now what do you do? Yup. Alright, we'll pass it up. He's got, what, 7 cards in hand? 8 cards in hand, sorry. I mean, he's not doing bad at all. It's just unfortunate for this type of events that had to happen to him. I'm sorry, Dofi. It'd be what it'd be. Alright, so he's going to play down our blocker here. He could not play any big bodies down, otherwise he just lost the game, so he had to go a little bit defensive here. Unfortunately, he only had 1 Dofi and not another blocker, so it's good for me. And I plan on taking all of these hits. Like, there's no reason for me, you know, to guard here. Nice. Get a no Kiku. Play this down. And that's game, boys. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Diving into another one, in which this particularly should be a little bit difficult. Getting double attack off on Katakuri is never really a good thing, especially considering they have 2 opportunities of getting triggers. So, yeah, still not a fun time. But being aggressive versus this deck is definitely the way to go, because you want to get them down as quickly as possible before they, you know, drop big moms back to back on you. At least that's how I've learned to play this matchup so far. I could be wrong, you know, each their own. Some people find different avenues to win matches. This is what works for me. But either way, let's go ahead and throw Cracker on top with Hiyori. Let's do a 5k attack, and we'll save the Dawn for Momo here. Which really I probably should have Momo'd first in case he gets a Thunderbolt off life. If he decides to take this hit. Okay, alright. What you thanks, bud? And speaking of triggers, there goes the first Satori. Unfortunate. But it's okay though, because Momo will act as a pseudo blocker here. Let's take another Hiyori. And when I say pseudo blocker, what that means is he'll be opted to attack the Momo and not attack me, right? I'd assume he'd use Pudding here. Yep. Let's let that go. Because that would have been potentially 3 attacks if he decided to put 3k on Pudding. Wow, okay. I guess he's a little bit spooked of my top card here that I stacked the life with, but alright, we'll take it. I don't think this is the way he wants to play this matchup. Because I want to be aggressive. I don't think he wants to take this in a slow approach. Because I'm going to get there, right? Let's go ahead and stack that. Go 8k to face. Yep, cool. We'll pass it up after we do 2 Dawn to this and kill the Pudding. Nice. So Hiyori here will also act as a pseudo blocker, so we will take the attack from either Katakuri or Satori, or I guess a Thunderbolt, but you never know. Okay, fair. One less attack we gotta deal with. Get that too. Fair enough. And he passes the turn again. Well, he's going to learn today, boys. He is going to learn today. Double attack, banish, 10k. Let's go. Or 11k, sorry. What do? Yep. Pass it up here again. He is in a very, very bad spot, considering the fact that he's not even close to having Big Mom down before I just, you know, attack him again and probably win game. By playing Sanji here would probably be his best case scenario if he has a blocker. So a Sanji, a Brûlé. Okay, instead he decides to be aggressive without attacking. I don't know, boys. It's a mixed bag. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm just 100% certain that this is not the way he wants to play this matchup. We can go Yams. We can pop a Gadetsu. We do not heal, though. But we'll have Yamato out, or Yamato out, in time for the Big Mom. Yep. You're going to hit me this time, or... Dude, he was so scared of Okiku. Now he feels it's safe to attack. He burned the Okiku. That's crazy. But, we've stacked the deck twice now, bud. So... You can go with leader 2 or no? Okay. Alright. And this will be game here. Unless he gets double blockers off trigger or a beige or something like that. We'll take the bottom. Speaking of veggie. We'll put that back. We'll give Cracker the rest of Dawn here, because we have less life than him, so Cracker will also have double attack, which is really, really good. He's got 4 cards in hand, so I think we have to go 9 here. Nice. Okay, so we got a trigger. Thunderbolt, sure. Okay. We'll just rest that with Izo. Let's do it like this. Good game. You gotta love people that experiment with off-meta leaders, man. As much as I love Kaido, getting a bunch of purple and blue cards in OPO6, this deck could actually do a thing, to be fair. It does have the ability to do that with a 10 drop. It has the ramp, and we do get pudding now, so it could be pretty spicy. Speaking of which, you'll see something like that on the channel here soon. Don't worry, I got you. Either way, let's go 8K to face here. Get that double attack in. That a boy. We'll pass the turn. Does he have Onigashima? Okay. Yeah, we'll take this hit, of course. I don't see why we wouldn't. Play down the Cracker. Unfortunately, he's not going to get value due to the fact that he's less life than me, but hey, it's another body on board. No Onigashima, which does suck. I forgot about the whole EBO1 thing, and people are still using those cards even though they're not out yet, you know, technically. So, what are you going to do? He does ramp up, though, which is pretty good. Let's play down to Hiyori. I'm going to take... I'm going to take Noah's Ark and put on top here, just in case. Because I'd have to assume that he starts playing defensive here, considering the fact that, you know, Yamato is actually going to do a lot of damage. Another 8K. Then we're going to take 2 Dawn and attach the Cracker and go 7. What are you going to do here, bud? He's got 1 Dawn active, so it's a potential to have a Blast Breath here. I don't think he's going to take both of these attacks. He has to at least block one of these. Nice. Let's go 7. We've got 3 2Ks in hand. He only has 2 units on, or sorry, 1 unit on board. He goes up to 7 Dawn, so it's a potential for him to -1 Dawn to pop down a king to kill the Cracker. Never mind, he's just going to go for it. Okay. I'm going to guard out of both of these hits then. So he doesn't have enough Dawn to kill the Cracker unless he goes full out. Yeah, nah. Or block this too. He's got 4 Dawn active, so if we let that happen, he would have ramped up a Dawn, and that's a potential queen that I don't want to deal with. Alright, so we do have Hody here. We're close. We can actually pop this down and go clear board. That way we don't have to worry about him cycling cards to draw cards with the blocker there, Wire. go 5 on this, and I'll get rid of Wire 2 with Yamato. I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, it's probably better to do that. And we'll just go 8k. We don't have to attach Don to Hody here. Is that a trigger? Oh, okay, I forgot about that card. Again, EVO1. GG? Everybody's favorite leader. Coming at you guys again, playing again to an Enel, unfortunately. But the cool thing is, it's yellow versus yellow. Just like the Katakuri earlier, it's going to be trigger versus trigger at the end of the day. And we did start off with Hiyori in hand, so we're going to start stacking as early as we possibly can. Let's take the top life. We're going to Noah's Ark here. Let's put a Shirahoshi on top. There's no reason to throw either a Beji or the Ark back on top right now, considering the fact that obviously he has no field, and a little bit too early for that, so just want to point that out. But the Shirahoshi should be pretty solid here. One of the cool things about this matchup, though, I've noticed, is most Enels in general, most Katakuris, they opt to take the double attack. No, thank you. Good try, though. That is not what we wanted to see here. I'll be fair, our hand is not the greatest. I was a little bit greedy and I probably should have mulliganed it. I decided to keep it because we did get a Hiyori off the bat, so. But still. Let's go ahead and search out. That's not what I wanted to see, but this will work actually. Just another body that we can possibly get on board if need be. This should hit. Like I said, most Enels take damage. Yep. Okay. Why, though? Why? I don't know. A little crazy to me, but okay. Obviously, he thought that was the best play. I mean, it might have been. Just seemed a little silly. Because in the following turn, he could have dropped the Big Mom on me. But, you know, hey. If it works, it works, I guess. Sure? Gee, thanks, buddy. Get over Yams here, and we'll get rid of... I guess we'll get rid of Dogstorm. I'm being a little bit greedy. We might get value with the Momonosuke and or the Arc. I probably, in hindsight, should have got rid of the other Yamato here. But we'll see. Okay, so we get a Maru. Which does kind of suck, because Enel doesn't play a lot of blockers out. We might have to deal with an occasional Sanji, but that's probably about it. We did see the Big Mom, so it's a potential he's running Brûlés. So I guess the Amaru will come in handy. Let's get down the Nekomamushi, right? We'll get down this. We'll go 7k against the lead. I wanted to play the Momo down for a blocker, but we didn't have anything to bounce from my field to the top of my life. We had Shirahoshi, but he can't target her, so... If Nekomamushi lives, then there's a potential we can drop down the Momo to put him back on top of life to heal one. Which he might live here, so yeah, we should get there. He does have potentially 4 attacks this turn, which is pretty spooky. And I'm opting to take them all, almost. So we'll see. Alright, so hard cast a Brûlé. Speaking of which is fine, because we have an avenue to get out of that with the Amaru, if need be. We'll take this hit. We'll get down to Kiku. I think it's my turn to come back with triggers. Please. Let's go, boys. There's no shot we get another one. We'll block out here. I don't want to risk it, to be honest. Oh wait, never mind. He can just go 6k with Onami. Yep. We'll take it though. This should be game. Realistically. Even without all the board here, just the Okiku itself already sealed the game, I think. Because we can go wide, we can go tall enough for the amount of cards that he has in his hand that he can't really defend out. We rest this. Yep, cool. Let's go, boys. I told you, these games are going to be fast, guys. I'm trying to smash them out as quick as we possibly can. We are playing Yamato, so we're a little bit aggressive. So, each their own. I'm sorry they're not as long as usual. But this matchup right here, as far as I'm aware, with my testing, heavily favors Yamato to win the game, depending on what deck setup you are playing with this leader, to be fair. I do think the green variant, with the kid and the Dofi, you kind of run a little bit, how do I say, like, it's slower, if that makes sense. And the fact that the 7 cost that she plays down, the Ichu, I think it's Ichu, I forget the name, it minus this kid by 2k, so it becomes a 6k body instead. It's a lot easier for her to deal with. That's just for my 2 cents. Now the yellow variants, whether you're playing the Skypea package or not, I think they're a bit more aggressive. Just like we go 8 or 9k each turn most of the time, so. Speaking of which, there he is. The card is so good. Alright, let's see what we got going on. Okay, Niju is also being drawn, unfortunately. 4 cards left in hand. We know one of them. She's going to actually get that back on board as well. So we know at least 1 card in hand here. So she gets off 2 attacks this turn, which I'm inclined to take these, but let's block this one. And then we'll take the second one here. Get a Shirahoshi, which is nice. One of the key cards in this matchup will probably be the Onami and Noah's Ark. I know it sounds crazy, but Noah's Ark, I think it's a slept-on card. It's fantastic, man. Just, it's so good. Let's see what we got going on here. We'll take this as well. And I will actually put Beji on top. That way we can at least protect 1 attack the following turn, depending on how she attacks me. She may just go for the Momo. Either way though, 8k come in the face, double attack. This one should go in. Nice. Then we'll pass it up here. I think realistically, it was probably better to go for face, because I think we would have got the attack versus trying to clear board. And if we cleared board, she would have just brought it back anyway. She gets down to Queen. Love to see it. Queen is so good in this deck, by the way. Please don't sleep on the card. He is so good in this deck. I see a lot of lists that don't run it, don't like it. They just go full Germa package. I feel like you're missing out with Queen. Such a good card here. Alright, yeah, 5 the Momo. Unfortunate. She played it right. And then Beige is not going to get off what he needs to do here. So we probably will have to guard out. There's no other reason not to. I don't want to get rid of our Hiyori, but hey, man. You got to do what you got to do here. We could have just played our 0-cost event instead, and then got rid of 1 more or 1 less card. That probably was the smarter outcome. It's a little too late for that, though. I didn't see it until it was too late, like in my hand, you know. Alright, so we're at 8 Dawn. I kind of want to get down Momo here. He'd be a pretty good card, considering the fact that I can bounce the Hiyori back at the top of the life, right? And then Hiyori can save me a damage, play her back down, get the Noah's Ark into life. Okay, got 2 cards there. I kind of just want to play him down, though. I think this is probably the right play. Let's just do it. So we'll bounce her, right? She'll heal me 1. We'll put her on top. So now we are guaranteed probably to get hit at least twice this turn due to leader effect. Or sorry, due to leader and the 7-cost on board. Okay. She potentially has 2 of them, unfortunately. Yep. He's just so good. Alright, so Momo gets minus 2,000 power. This is what I'm talking about. If I was playing the green variant, like more heavily green based with the kids, he becomes a 6k, so he's a little bit easier to deal with. And you are going to probably play into a lot of Regius due to how popular the character is and how good the leader actually can be. So we get Hiyori back. We can actually play the Beji on the other one. Bet you guys forgot that he was there, didn't you? Okay. Potentially, we can drop down a Yamato here, right? Potentially. We can heal one, pop nothing. Or, we can get down Hiyori here, and then put the Noah's Ark on top. Which is really, really good. This will allow us to win the game next turn. 100%. At least maybe. That might be a little bit greedy, but at least maybe, depending on what she decides to play on board here. Because I think we're going to go off with a banish attack in the following turn. Not now, but next turn. Because Queen's on board, so banish is not going to happen. So instead, we'll at least get a 9k attack in, and she'll have to guard from hand or block with Queen here. More than likely, probably guard with hand. Yep. Okay. Let's play down an Okiku here. In which this allows us to have at least one more attack on the following turn, just in case. I get it, Dogstorm might be pretty valuable here too. But this will at least allow us to heal another life if, you know, somehow, some way, she attacks into it, or, you know, Kiko goes somewhere else. 5 cards left. Unfortunately, though, this is still a lot of damage coming my way with one blocker on board. We do have the 0 cost event to protect ourselves here as well, so that can potentially push us up to 9k here. Gets down to Neju, okay. Does the power up. Bounces that back to hand, yep. And that was his effect, by the way, the Neju's effect. Allows her to do that. Which is really good. So any cheap blockers and stuff at this stage in the game just go bye-bye. And thankfully, the only blocker in the deck we generally run is Momonosuke. So, unless you're playing green, right? More green variant with the Rosinantes. Or the killer blockers. So now she's got 4 attacks basically here. We'll take this one, drop the Arc down, and this should be a good game. 4 cards left in hand. We have a banish attack here with a Nami. So she won't get those cards, and then we can just stack 11k, or is it 10k? 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 11k into Momo. Because we go 10k here. Double attack, yep. Well played. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Diving into our last game of the day. I appreciate you guys for sticking with me to the end of the video. It was a lot of fun, but do expect to see more content when it comes to Yamato here. We've got quite a bit of different variation of decks to go through, to talk about, to explore. So I can't wait to showcase those with you guys later on. But don't you worry, because Queen and Doflamingo are coming very soon to the channel. I'm very excited for the new cards they get in OPO6, whether it's the Hody, the Pudding, the Hiyori for the Queen. It's going to be a lot of fun. But overall, don't go nowhere, okay? Please, don't go nowhere. But at the end of the day, it looks like Arenal also gets a bunch of new cards that we're going to have to deal with here in this set, so he's not leaving either. Katakuri ain't going anywhere either, unfortunately. So there's a lot of, So it all depends on what this ban and restriction list decides to do here for all these decks in the format. Either way, we cannot take this hit. There's no reason for us to trigger our Onami here to pop the Hiyori, so this is going to be a very awkward match in the early game. I probably should play down our Kiku here, but let's just feel him out, see what he wants to do. Okay, so he gives me Satori. Whatever the card he put on top of his life must have some value to pop cards on board, is my guess. So I'm thinking either a Thunderbolt or maybe... What's that other card? I know he has one more. I forgot what it is off the top of my head. But I'd rather not... Oh, Onami, sorry. I'd rather not play down Nokiku and just get her to go bye-bye. Go 8k. Alright, so we'll take this hit. And we'll just put Nami to hands, right? Let me cook, boys. Let me cook. Hear me out. We'll put her to the hands. We won't play the ability. Instead, we'll go 9k with Banish on our turn here to see what he wants to do. He might have enough counter, but he already gave me a Satori in the early game here. He might not. So we'll get rid of 2 cards from his life that he can't activate the trigger effect for. What do, bud? What do? Nice. Let's go. What was that? A Yamato and... Okay. Alright. No, that's fair. That's a really good card for him to have in the early game, considering the fact that it just heals him up for free when I do get rid of it. Now, essentially... Okay. Alright, never mind. 8k face. We'll take the hit. That'll work out for later. We can actually get rid of a Hody to go up to 3k power there. Speaking of which, let's play one down. We'll burn a life here, or take a life, sorry. Rest both of these units. We get a Hiyori off that, which is really, really good. Attack our Hiyori into this one. And then we'll start poking the bear. So I can attach 2 Dawn to my Nami here to let her swing for 5 face as well. So we get 3 more attacks coming his way. Yep. I mean, we had to get rid of it, boys. It's either that or just take swings from it constantly. Let's go 6k here. He definitely blocks this. Yep. That's another Hiyori that we burned down, which is really good. Cool. Pass it up. Our board is looking really, really good right now. So he goes to 9 Dawn here. I'm not really worried about Yamato coming down, because he won't heal life. Instead, he'll just burn something. What is that? Oh, impact. Oh, reject, sorry. Let's see here. I guess we'll get rid of another one of these, and then maybe the Dog Storm. I kind of want to keep the Momo. We need the Momo to find me a Momonosuke, actually. The 5-cost blocker. Please. Let's go, boys. So the reason being, we play this down, right? We pop back the Hiyori on top of life. So now, once we get Hiyori, we can activate this Hiyori's ability as well, in which we can put something else back on top of our life, be it that, the Amaru. Big brain plays, man. So good. Then we can go 5k with Nami. We can go 6k with our leader here as well. What do you want to do? Okay. Give her the rest of Dawn. So potentially... Oh, never mind. Okay. Fair enough. Now I think we're pretty good here. So he does go to 10, and now he can actually play down Yamato, or Yamato, depending on how you want to say it. Heal a life, burn something, or just go Banish mode. So he plays down Onami, gives himself Banish. I don't know why. And decides to stack... What? Does he not know that Momo has block? He doesn't know. Yeah, he doesn't know. That's crazy. Alright. I'm just going to assume he didn't know that. Or he doesn't pay attention. Because that seems a little silly to me. But alright. Maybe he had no other plays. We'll see what his hand is in a minute. If we play another one of these down here, I think we're being a little bit greedy. We'll take a Dog Storm, something we can get, because for some reason Wano Nami is not Wano as well. It's kind of crazy to me. Actually, you know what? Let's take Yamato instead. Because this way this allows us to heal his life and burn the Nami on board. Now we're good. This will go 5. We have an 8 and another 5 attack as well. I don't think he can counter out all this. Okay. This right here, watch. It's going to be Amaru. This attack is going to be Amaru. Watch. No? Please? Alright. Not sure what just happened there. I don't know what just happened there. A little weird interaction. I don't know. I don't think it matters at this point, but not sure. We'll have to see. So he goes 6k into Nami probably. Yep. But you still have potentially 2 10k swings and then whatever I decide to put on Yamato here. So I don't think he's going to win the game regardless. Because now we get Banish. Yep. 2 life left, or 2 cards in hand. There was an Amaru. And GG, bud. Well played. You tried it. Either way, let's dive back into the deck list. See you guys in a sec. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the end of the video. I do appreciate everybody for sticking around with me. It was a long one. We played a lot of games. We had a lot of fun with it. But that is the nature of this deck. It's very aggressive. It smashes out games very quickly in very few turns. But overall, there is a lot of different variations when it comes to playing this leader. You guys will see a lot of variety here on the channel when it comes to Yamato. I'm very excited to play this leader in OPO6, let alone Queen and Doflamingo. They're coming up soon. Don't go anywhere. These are my most excited leaders for this new set that comes out, so I'm very excited for it. But overall, with this one particularly, there are a couple changes in which I have been experimenting with, I've been playing around with, and it's not so much like a big changes, because I do want to keep the deck as it is for this variation, but I run with 30 at the very least triggers for the build. That way you're always getting pressure off your life at the very least. The cards that I am looking to probably change up will be Dogstorm here. He does very, very well. Just so the fact that when he attacks, he can pop like a Sanji blocker, Brule, Sanji blocker, Brule, Doflamingo, Boa, things that you guys are going to see generally. You know what I mean? He has access to deal with it. Now, with that being said, I also want to experiment more with playing Kozuki Hiyori here for the 2k trigger. This will make your Yamato a 6k leader for the whole turn off trigger, which is really, really good. But overall, there are a lot of variations for this deck. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions down in the comments below. Let me know what you're running with and how it's working out for you. This has been Pawseplays. Remember, smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe for future content that comes to the channel. And I will catch you guys in the very next episode. Stay safe out there.